All right, all right. Happy Wednesday. It is August the 20th and time is rolling quickly. I'm here with my girl Kasha B. Hey, look,
Hey,
I'm Kevin C. Bozeman, the owner of Relationship Avenues, the number one place where you go shopping for your relationship needs.
yes. Hey there. And I'm Kasha Bailey, owner of Bailey Virtual Business Management, where I help turn chaos into clarity for small business owners. Welcome, everybody.
Ooh, you do too, Kasha, because you be helping me out a lot.
All right.
For real. I appreciate it. Like when I went to that relationship conference and
Mm-hmm.
you had my codes ready and I was like, gosh, I
Right.
need you. You was like bam, 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 bam. You
Right.
had me up in there
Had it
all the
together.
way right.
All the way together.
All the way together. I appreciate that. Thank you again for that. So
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
so today we are talking about one of the last temperaments. And that is the blue temperament, the peaceful phlegmatic temperament, and actually how to interact with them and to even see if is that partially part of your temperament.
Oh
Uh,
yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. Yes, the blues is gonna open up some eyes today.
look, that's good. That's good. That's good. So, one of the reasons why we try to identify a primary temperament is because that's really the strength of a person. That's where you find your energy. That's where you find your esteem. That's where you find your push in life. And the more you move away from operating in your primary temperament, even loving in your primary temperament. So if you're not able to love in your primary temperament, it does become tough and you're drained all the time. And a lot of
Mhm.
times that's what creates depression. A lot of people they don't know that, but I've actually seen and worked with a lot of people that once they got in alignment with their strength, their whole aura and mindset actually changed. And so I've seen it. I don't need a PhD to be able to do observation and recognize what works and what doesn't work.
Right.
And so we're going to talk about this blue temperament, or better known as the peaceful phlegmatic. So just to give you a quick snapshot, they are very calm, consistent, adaptable. They like to avoid conflict. And they're motivated by peace, harmony, and security. And Kasha, you took the one of our assessments, and your
Yes,
primary is blue.
it is.
It
Yeah,
is, and that description I gave you was
it's
that spot
very
on? Did that
accurate.
work?
Yes.
Very accurate.
I'm like, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Okay. 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 And so let me ask this question for you. Blue being your primary temperament, do you find yourself giving in when you shouldn't?
Yes. To
Okay.
a point that as you age and you get older and hopefully wiser,
Right, right.
you kind of um, turn that off. You say, okay, I'm kind of over it. And I just turned 50 this year. So I'm like, okay.
Oh.
I'm like, yep, the answer is no. No, no. But yes,
Right,
I
right.
have found, just looking back on my younger self. Yes, absolutely.
Right, right. And so one of the things when you're in a relationship with a blue temperament, that's primary temperament is blue. Next week, we're going to get into why you use the whole spectrum, because a person is developed with so many gifts and talents. We've just been talking about what the primary is, but there is a secondary, a backup, and even a fourth position. And we flow throughout those every day. But when you are naturally in your strength and you're in a relationship with a with the blue temperament, it is a beautiful thing because they are very good listeners. They adapt because they just really want to make people happy.
Mhm.
And they're easy to be around. They can de-escalate an intense situation with a light candor, humor, and laugh.
Mhm.
And they are very loyal and very supportive.
Mhm.
Does that sound about right?
Sounds very accurate. Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
Okay.
But I also
Okay.
feel like sometimes um, blues can at times be seen can be perceived as pushovers.
Right.
So because we tend to flex in and out of different situations and personalities, so that the peacekeeping aspect of it is always at the forefront, right? But we are so easygoing and laid back that we just kind of go with the flow of things. So
Right.
um, we typically will flex in and out of different situations very easily.
Okay. Okay. And so what's the biggest thing that you found that your husband loves about your blue?
Probably I'm just calm and easy. I don't. He probably likes I don't challenge too much because I just kind of flow with it. So
Right, right.
um, and he's a green, so we kind of balance each other out at times. So I think just my easygoing nature, but I like to have fun, so I think that's
Right.
some of my secondary and third temperaments kind of flowing in as well.
Okay, okay. So she said his primary was green. So I'll
Hmm.
make sure I throw that little
Right,
caveat in there because
right.
that usually always drives me crazy when these assessments and people go in, the trainers will go in and the people will come out, oh, I'm a D, or, I'm an
Hmm.
empath, I'm a turtle, I'm a this, I'm a
Hmm.
that. No, you
Right, but
are
you're
a
made up of different things.
whole spectrum of things and you
Yes.
flow throughout it. And I think
Hmm.
that's where a lot of people begin to instantly go sideways is because they only picture and pick up one thing because they feel like that's exactly them.
Right.
And the challenge then becomes what happens when you move away from your strength.
Hmm.
That's the part people do not train on or do not know how to deal with. And that's what creates the pressure. That's what
Hmm.
creates the tension. That's what creates the chaos. And that's what ultimately creates the hurt feelings and breakups, is because we don't know how to deal with people when they're not in their strengths.
Right.
When it's all fun and it's good, hey, it's a party. But man, let the storm hit. You act like people
Hmm.
can't navigate. Kind of like the disciples in the boat. Well, Jesus, wake up. Y'all
All
can't
right,
believe you
what
gonna let us
happened?
drown. He like, y'all busters ain't got no faith. I'm trying to get some sleep over
All
here.
right, we good. No, I'm good.
Right, I'm good. Just be
I'm
cool. You
good.
know what? I tell you what,
Right.
just speak to that thing and tell it to chill. Be good. So
Right. That's
right,
funny.
right. So some of the challenges when you are really in a relationship with a blue, it can be sometimes they can be indecisive or avoid addressing a conflict.
Mhm.
Um, they can resist change or just avoid stepping up when needed because they don't. And I'm just guessing this from me working with a lot of people. If they step up, then they have put themselves out there and open to critique or being questioned on why they did it a particular way. So it's easier to sit back and just be cool and play the supportive role. That way they don't have to worry about being challenged or making a mistake or being in the spotlight where somebody gonna say something or criticize them. So they may just totally resist the change. I know I have a daughter. I know Blue is in her power combo. In her
Mhm.
power combo, man, she'll get a strong. She's a quiet, strong will of iron.
Mhm.
And when she get quiet like that, I'm like, she not listening. She not. You know what I'm saying? Ain't even no need for me trying. I just have to hit the pause button, come back at
Right.
it
Come back
because they
later.
just,
Yeah.
yeah, they just had that strong will, and they're not gonna
Mhm.
fight about it.
Mhm.
They not gonna argue about it.
We just be still.
They just gonna be still and
Yeah.
smile and look, but you not gonna budge them. They've rooted
Nope.
in.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And so, um, what is the thing about addressing conflict when it how would you address it if it's a conflict that needs to be addressed, even though they
Mm.
tend to avoid it? What would you like to see happen, or how would you like to see a potential conflict get resolved?
Mm. Well, I mean, there's you have to essentially uh, address it. I mean, that's just life, you know. But I think the way that a blue would address a conflict is a little different. You know, we can be straight outright, but we may try to soften the blow essentially behind what's going on. So we may not come straight at it like, you know, very directly, but we'll package it, try to package it nicely and say, okay, this is where the problem is, but the way we address it is maybe a little softer than other temperaments,
Right,
primary temperaments may be.
right. And one thing I do know, also again, is they don't like to have somebody bark orders at them.
Mm-mm. I
They
had a situation that, you know, rubbed me the wrong way. I am a when I send texts, especially, you know, people that I know or may, you know, work with, I'm a good morning or a hello, such and such and such. And so I've had someone kind of just that I worked with just bark at me what they wanted. And I was like, good morning, okay? Like what's going on?
right,
I guess salutations. I mean, what are we doing here?
right.
So, and but I've also had to um, teach those types of people, you know, people that kind of come at you, you know, from a blue perspective, teach them how you like to be communicated with. And
Right.
so that hasn't worked yet, but we're working on
Right.
it.
So here's what I do know. My primary temperament is green, but I've done a lot of training and I've done a lot of changing. So even when I'm operating in my natural strength, I am aware, situation awareness on when to switch, when to move through my spectrum so
Mhm.
that I can create peace and harmony in situations, as a good teammate or as good as an effective partner. What
Mhm.
I do know is there has been times I've walked into an office, walk right past because I'm focused, and the admin at the front is like, did I do something wrong? I mean,
Right.
they didn't even say
Why
good
you not
morning,
talking to
but
me?
I was focused and I just kind
Right.
of blew right past. But
Mhm.
because I knew that, I had to come back and say, I'm sorry, good morning,
Right.
because they can feel some type of way, and I might be ready to get straight down to business so that I can get these checklists off.
Mhm.
And the blue temperament might feel like you just coming at me, what you say, greetings and
All right.
salutations,
Salutations.
what's up, and that's a part of just being aware of how that operates. And so you kind of have a choice when you're dealing with temperaments. Your choice is pretty much is this: you can be yourself all day and be selfish and totally not be aware of other people's temperaments, and you're not going to get the best results you want.
Hmm.
That's just period.
Agreed.
The other side of that is you can be aware, you can train on it, and people do need training. Just that's just period. It's
Hmm.
not something that's natural. It's something you do have to work at. It's a muscle memory that you have to work on. It's information that you don't have. It's things that you don't know, situation awareness. And so what ends up happening, why divorce rate is so high, is the same thing that brought people together is the same
Hmm.
thing that pushed them apart. And
Mhm.
it pushed them apart because when things get tough, they don't know, you don't know even how to deal with it except for the way you want to deal with it. But there is a way to deal with it that creates peace, harmony, resolution. And here's the powerful thing: when you master that, and you start killing the game, you start
Mhm.
elevating the game, you start getting promotions, you start bringing more money in your house, your kids are more at peace. But there's so much noise out there that a lot of people, get caught up in the noise, and they get
Mhm.
off focus and they get off track, and then they can't deal, and so then that creates the chaos, additional chaos in the home. And so I do know that being aware has been one of the most powerful things, in which we talked about that last week, about the whole overall situation and why it's so important, and why it's been my number one tool. It has done amazing things for me. I mean, multi-million dollar sales, number one, putting together court run schools in 6 months that took people 2 years that couldn't do. I
Mhm.
mean, I've done some amazing things, but it's with
Yeah.
the other people, but it really is how to navigate people.
Right.
And we think we know how to do it, but we don't, because I see it all the
Mhm.
time.
Right.
We think we killing the game, but we not. But
Uh-oh.
yeah, and so when you partner with a peaceful phlegmatic or a blue temperament in that primary space, here is some how to's when you partner with them. Um, you're gonna have to be patient when you are partnering with them. Be patient when they're making decisions.
Yes.
Uh, is that important? Why you
Yes.
say yes? You was feeling that.
I was because I have had I've done different businesses and had different businesses. And so when I was considering this other business, this was maybe 8 years ago or so, the people that was wanting me to partner with them, I knew them, personally, and they were like, "Okay, she about to break this down, and she about to make her mind map and consider every option." And so at first they were like, "Well, you just," I was like, "No, you understand that this is my process." So the next time they brought something to me, they were like, "We know you got to make your mind map. You know, you got to go through your process." And
Right,
so
right.
they understood that that's what I needed in order to be confident in the decision that I was making.
Right, right. That's good. That's real good. Another how to is encourage them to speak up about their needs. I am aware that blues, they will fall on the sword for you. They will put everybody else's needs before their own. But I believe God brought people in the world like that, because if we didn't have other people to look out for us, there's a whole lot of selfish people in,
Mhm.
and they just bring the love and the harmony. But when you partner with one, whether you in business or a romantic relationship, you want to just encourage them to speak up. Ask them, hey, you need anything? Okay, let's see what you got going on. What's happening there? What do you have? Let's check
Mhm.
that out.
Yeah.
And then appreciate their loyalty and their calming presence. They ain't never fired up. They get in a situation, they gonna be cool about it. You can be quiet. Everybody else is frantic, and they might be rattled on the inside, but they're gonna be calm and
Mhm.
have a calm presence. So they're not gonna have the same
Yep.
fired upness outwardly in those
Mhm.
type of dynamics. And those are just three tips on partnering with one, with the peaceful
Yep.
phlegmatic or a perfect melancholy temperament. And you just
Yeah.
want to understand how that works, how
Mhm.
all of the temperaments work, how to recognize when they move throughout their spectrum, so that you can just be aware. And
Yep.
it creates a very powerful dynamic when you know that, because then that way you know how to make the
Mhm.
adjustment, you know how to partner when they partner, you know how to fill in, you know how to get their back, you know how to cover the front. You know when to lead, you know when to fall back, you know when to lock arms and be on the side. And it just makes for
Yeah.
better families. It makes for better relationships. It makes for better business partners. And you know how to serve your clients at a whole nother level when you know how to do that. So, all right.
Agreed.
Well, I'm getting ready to bring it around just
Yeah.
with a
Uh-huh.
recap and just understanding that everybody has a strengths in there when you partner with these particular ones. And in fact, Kasha, you know what I
Hmm.
didn't do in here?
What's
I
that?
didn't put in when if people want to get an assessment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I thought I really enjoyed my assessment. Actually, I need to revisit it a little bit
Okay,
more.
okay.
but but yes, if you are curious as to what your primary temperament is, and how you kind of flow through the others, we do have Kevin has an awesome assessment that you can take and just kind of see where you are. So definitely drop info in the comments, and so he'll get that right over
All
to you.
right, all right. And just also understand that, going deeper. I had a conversation with some ladies with some young ladies this weekend, and
Hmm.
it was very interesting. I was proud of them, but I also saw the problem. I was proud
Hmm.
because they were able to talk about, they were kind of young, somewhere in they late 20s, maybe early 30s,
Okay.
somewhere around in there. And they were able to talk about,
Hmm.
oh, well, I'm an empath, I'm a turtle, I'm a this, I'm that.
Hmm.
And then they begin to talk about the problems that they were having in relationships. And
Hmm.
as a trainer and a temperament expert, the first thing I saw was that's exactly why they have problems, because they focused on their